All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are live. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Odum, and oh my goodness, already my throat. I need some water. Oh, sorry about that. So, what are we doing today? Yes, welcome is what I'm saying, and thank you for joining. And if you're new here, my name's Odum, and this is our live stream where every day we come together and we work on building ourselves a company that we hope to generate $1 million in revenue every single year. And we're working on building a Webflow component and template library, which we hope will be very useful to all the fellow web designers and developers out there. And we've already started quite a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks back, anyways, 2 or 3 weeks, to creating our style guide. So if we go here, we can see our style guide. And basically, if you remember, we were using client first, or we've used client first to build this. So we basically have the style guide. I'm pretty sure it's been completed. Actually, I haven't gotten back to it since the last time because I've been so busy with client stuff here for the past few days that I haven't double checked everything. But I think it's pretty good. So the one thing that we are going to need to do is we should have a dedicated project for the style guide. I wonder too if within your CSS, because one thing I was thinking too of like every time this style guide gets updated, you have to kind of bring it into your project. But what if we can just have this style guide somewhere and then we can just have a CSS link to this this guide? I guess the problem is if the link goes down, then you kind of have an issue. But I feel like that would be kind of really cool. So like, for example, like I guess if you go into here, I think this is published, right? So there should be some code somewhere for the style guide, like right here, right? So if you could include this in the head of any document, that should be it right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So if we link to this, then every time there's any changes or updates to the actual style guide, then every project gets updated. You don't have to update each project individually. I think that's kind of the way to go. And it'll almost be nice to post it in places where we know it's going to be super secure and like almost always like live. We'll have to think about that in terms of where we can host it. And then have it so that whenever it's published, it gets pushed out to all these multiple different places as well when it gets published on Webflow. Anyways, we'll think about that. That's going to be a flow that we're going to have to deal with. So that being said, what I was saying, or what I was thinking, was that within this, within Webflow, where are we? Yeah, within our sites, we need to create a site that's going to be specifically for like pixel pieces. And you know what? Let's organize this a little bit. Let's create a new folder for pixel pieces. So yeah, I want to have a project that is specifically for the style guide. So pixel pieces. Okay. So how do we move these? Can we, move to folder, move to pixel pieces. That's the main site. Can I move this while it's being worked on? We still can. Excellent. Let's move this as well. Did that not move? Okay. Let's just move this as well. Okay, so if we go into here, oh, it's too bad we can't create folders within folders. We'll have to see how we might want to organize things. So I think, yeah, so we're going to duplicate this and create this as a pixel pieces style guide. Actually, let's do that right now. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Go back. Can we duplicate? You cannot duplicate since you have reached your unhosted site limit for your workspace. And what is my limit? I think it's 10. Okay, well, that's not good. I'm in the freelancer workspace. All right, 10 unhosted sites. And if I want an agency, I go to 35 a month. So that's doubling the price. Yeah. So I think the I think the idea, or what I would need to do, is just to not have so many damn sites that I'm not actually using. Yeah, so there's a few of them that I'm not using, but I don't want to clean this out just quite yet. So how do I know if it's paid or not? Anyways. Okay, forget about that. Let's go to the home page and we need to design this thing. So now Nakedflow. So this is going to be our default minimal Webflow theme. So that's what we want. So I think, yeah, how should we do this? I'm trying to think now how we're going to be building the theme. Because we want to build all the individual pages as well too. How should we do it? Okay. So this is going to require a little bit of thinking. So I'm trying to think of what someone's going to want to see when they look at a template and what they hit. Let's take a look at the Webflow templates and let's see what we can find. Right, so there's a difference between like a picture of the whole thing. Yeah, let's $129. So let's say we preview. Right. So this has different landing pages. SaaS Webflow template. 5 complete website home pages. Various ready to use inner pages. Compare shirt, blog details, and then the shop. And these are just, oh, these actually work. Interesting. Is this functionality actually working? Oh, that's cool. Checkout is disabled, of course. Shop details would be an internal page. Okay. Lightbox. Cool. Anyways, so basically what I'm seeing is that you kind of hit this home page. Actually, it wasn't even this home page, home one. It's just this thing. So this is kind of maybe how we can do it, where it's whatever the template is. And then you just design things on the inside. And those things are probably just going to be the components that we're going to need. So let's take a look at another one. So this one's super cheap. Look at the difference in price here. Yeah. None of these actually work. Yeah. FAQ section. Pricing section. Cool. Okay. So I see. It's just basically just like a WordPress. What am I thinking? Like a WordPress template when you go to view it and preview it. So we want something that's going to come up like this. That's going to be super, super minimal. Okay. So what are we going to do? Padding. Let's look at our classes here. That's our utility classes. Okay. I think I want to look at the padding. Like padding section small. Okay. Just refamiliarizing myself with all the classes because it's been like a week since I looked at this. And these are all the classes that are specific to the style guide. And that's where those things that you don't necessarily want to have those being copied over, but I'm not sure there's much you can do about that. No, there could be some interesting ways how we could kind of strip that out. Okay. So now I think we need to make sure that we can, what we actually want to do is make sure that we're going to create everything correctly in terms of the headers and the hero sections and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Good to see you. How you doing today? Today's our first day. Well, not our first day doing any of this stuff, but our first kind of true day in starting to work on getting this Nakedflow ready. And I think it's going to end up being that we're going to be working on the actual theme itself, but also components, because it's basically just going to be a bunch of components thrown together. So we have our section header. So let's just copy this, because we're going to have, we want to rename it here. We're going to have our section hero. And okay, we have to think of naming conventions as well too for our navigation. Let's just take a look again here. So one thing that I have a question is, I guess it's a matter of personal preference, but I don't know if client first likes full names for class names or abbreviations. For example, nav or navigation. Like obviously instead of frequently asked questions, it's FAQ. So that makes sense. But what about something like navigation? Whether you spell it out as NAV or navigation. My gut is telling me spell it out the full way. And Kevin, you're saying the short way. Yeah, the one thing that I'll say about using the short way, because I think when I would code by hand, I would just use the long way because it's more readable. But when you're getting into Webflow, you just have this really small style selector panel, and the longer the name, the harder it is to read. So having something smaller is kind of better. And then of course, the navigation pane here on the left gets to be pretty unwieldy. It gets to be really long when you have a lot of really long class names. So, right, and they use image instead of image. Okay. That's a good point. So I guess they do have templates, don't they? Let's have a... what do they... where can we see... their stuff? Maybe if we go into the marketplace, can we search? Browse experts. I just want to see templates. Search. No. On the client first website, look at the resource tab. The client first. Oops. Resources. Okay, here we go. Better form. Anyways, let's take a look at this. Am I even going to be able to make this? Clone this site? Let's just open up here in this preview. So main nav bar. Oh, this is nav bar, so it's a little bit different. Nav versus nav bar. Okay. And this is an actual nav bar like element within Webflow. Because they do have, this nav bar. which is cool. I think a nav bar is really good for simple navigation items, but then when you get to more complex ones, you kind of really need to use something else. That's not quite good to have that scrollable on mobile. Anyways, I'm not here to critique. How do they section things off? Oh, they have the nav bar as just as a global. Let me see the structure again. Interesting. They're not using any of the like the paddings or anything like that to contain the container of the nav bar. Interesting. So they're setting the width. Where are they setting it? Oh, I guess they're just putting it at 5% padding on the whole thing. Interesting. Max width 80. Interesting why they didn't use the padding global on the nav bar. Interesting. Okay, well, this is going to be an interesting project to figure out our own styles and our own way of doing things. I'm just trying to think now of why we would want to have the navigation outside of the main wrapper. I don't think we want to do that. Okay. You know what we should do? Let's open up our other component library that we were working on, our initial pixel pieces thing. Because we don't need to reinvent the wheel, I think, for everything. Although we probably are going to want to rename all the classes. Okay. So we had built already a basic nav bar. So let's copy and paste this. Oh, get rid of that comment. So section header. And let's paste that in there. So now I'm thinking too about how to name all the different types of navigations. So I guess they'll all be like navbar and then with a number, right? That would make the most sense. Because within pixel pieces, there's going to be multiple different navigations. And there's going to need to be a way to differentiate them. And I don't see any other way other than just using a number. Oh, that's how Reloom does it too? Yeah, that makes the most sense. I don't see any other way that you can even do it, or any other way that would make sense. And just to make it as simple as possible. Right, because when we're going into, say we're going to components, yeah, basic nav 1, whatever the name is going to be. Yeah, okay, so let's start with that. So let's get our naming. So navbar, and do we want underscore or do we want, no, we don't want underscore, we want dash. So navbar -1. Because then when we underscore, we want it to underscore after the 1. So then that'll go into the proper client first folder under nav1, which I guess is going to show up I'm not sure where it's going to show up. I thought it would show up under here after the utility class, unless it's a utility class right now, which might make the most sense. No, it's not here. I think it'll show up here eventually. Maybe it's not, hasn't synced, didn't sync yet. Okay. Okay, so let's rename this. So navbar 1 underscore container. I wonder if it's going to be different for different nav bars to have a different container. Probably. Okay. Okay, text logo. So this is just sample. Navbar 1. Just logo. Rename navbar underscore 1. Nope. -1 underscore right. If I'm naming these things, maybe I should call it out. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll try to bump it up just a little bit more. So if any of these class names you take up exception to, just let me know. So for the actual drop down, so navbar 1, just drop down, and then rename navbar 1 underscore just menu link. Okay. Right, and buttons. Buttons versus links. I guess it depends. Let's take a look at the client first one. I think that's here. Let's see what these guys did. Yeah, so these are links, which makes sense if they're just going to another page. And interesting that it's a navbar button. It's not just a regular, just a simple button. So let's go, where am I? Right here. Let's go. What just happened? Or am I on multiple pages? Oh my goodness, I'm updating it on the actual style guide and not the, not this place. Okay, delete. And, that's stupid. That was stupid of me. And bring it here. Okay. So what were we looking at? Right, the button. So wait, what is this? This is the button. That's the hamburger button. I think that came built in the actual nav bar. Because we don't want it to be, hang on. Right, that's the nav bar menu button. Right. these guys have their hamburger here as well. Okay. Right. Right. So we're going to call this, what are we going to call this? Navbar 1 underscore. Is it just menu button, or should it be something like hamburger button? So then it's, because it's not, well, I guess it is the menu button because it brings up the menu. Yeah, let's go menu button. And let's go with navbar 1 underscore hamburger. Is that someone knocking at the door? Oh, nope. Navbar 1 hamburger. And then we have the different 3 hamburger lines. Navbar 1 underscore hamburger. I wonder if, oh, right. The reason why I don't have this as an icon is that you can do some really cool animations with it as well too. With each one of these like items. But maybe they should be icons as well too. I'm not sure. Navbar underscore 1 hamburger like line. I can say hamburger bun. Maybe should we add a little bit more personality? Hamburger line versus hamburger bun. But then the middle part's not really the bun. Let's just call it a line. Okay, so and that is our nav bar. And we're just going to call this, Nakedflow. And why is there a background color? Where's that coming from? I mean, background, transparent, so it's not from there. Maybe the whole navbar itself. Okay. Navbar 1, you can be transparent. Okay. So we have our navigation. I think there's something that I wanted to do that I'm missing. There's something that I'm missing. Can't think of it right now. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Maybe let's look at some of our colors here. Okay. You know something that I was just thinking about when I was talking about earlier, where it would be nice to not have to import the style sheet from whatever the current version is into the project to be able to get the classes, and instead use a CSS import or something like that from just the file that's somewhere on the web, that would be great, except now there would be a huge problem in that if you don't have the style guide on your Webflow project, then you won't be able to access any of the variables. So you can't really have a client first like a Pixel Pieces client first web project. You can't have that if you're not going to actually bring in the style guide into your project. Because if you just link to the CSS, all you're going to have is the default classes, and you're not going to be able to change anything when you're working in the on your project. Shoot. So that's not going to work at all. Okay, well, not the end of the world. It just means that every time there's an update to the style guide, it's going to have to be updated in every single template. Yeah, I don't think there's any way around that. Anyways, we'll think on that. Okay, so what did I want to do? I want to look at this navigation stuff, and let's just see. Can I see? I want this to be visible. Let me just show this. Okay. So let's keep everything simple, blacks and whites. So our nav bar menu 1, our background color is going to be, we'll make it black, and then we'll make the nav bar menu items color. So what is making them be gray? Because it's not showing up here. Is it? There's got to be a font overriding somewhere. Or a color, I should say. Because it's not any of... That should not be it, which it's not. It must be... Weird. Interesting. Okay. But then the nav bar 1 drop down. I think we put the white on the actual element. Oh, that's not going to work either. It's the one thing I really don't like about these built-in sections that Webflow has. So I don't really know the underlying HTML and how everything's structured. Is it in this text block? Okay. Navbar 1 underscore drop down toggle. And this will work. Give that the color right there. Okay. Navbar basic icon. Okay. Whoops. Undo. Rename. This is going to be navbar 1 underscore. I still want, this is part of the drop down. So drop down dash icon. And this is the text. There's no styling associated with this. So maybe, I guess we'll just leave it as a blank text. the last thing we want to do, I guess, give it a hover color. Oh, this is tough because we don't know what the... you don't know what kind of colors we're going to use. I guess this would be a secondary, but yeah, if it's light or dark, we don't know. We don't know what their colors are going to be. Do we keep it simple and just have it white, and then the user can go ahead and update? Yeah. You know what? Can we... Oh, no, we're not going to be able to do that. Or maybe we can. If I give this one a class of menu link as well, just so it can have the right colors, and it does. Okay, perfect. So it also has the same padding, but what we need to do is we need a combo class of, say, is like drop down icon, or just like is icon. No, because that's going to be different. We already have an is icon for, oh, maybe that'll work. No, because that's going to go full. Okay. Let's just say is drop down icon. Right, because the button is a little bit different. And then what do we do? I think, are we giving it a little bit of a margin? I think that's the play. But then we want to give it a good margin here. Like 1 pixel, maybe 1.5. We got medium. I wonder, I'm a little bit afraid and weary of overusing global variables. I think we got to come up with some kind of standardized process, and we'll probably have to document this, where if you're using something that is for spacing issues of how far elements are apart, using a global variable, I think, will be really helpful, because then you could change the proportions of the entire site without having to go to each individual component or section, whatever, on the application. But if it's for something that's specific to this, like an element, like there's a drop-down navigation, I think using a global style here could be a mistake, because you can have inadvertent consequences if you update your global variable, but then your little small things that are like one-offs have to be adjusted. So I think I've convinced myself we're going to unlink that. We're not going to use this as a global, but we're going to use it as, it's just going to be its own thing. I think that's good. I don't think everything needs to be in, or, everything has to be a global variable or whatever, right? There can still be standalone things, especially if it has is drop down icon, then it's got to be kind of its own thing, right? And that's its own little modifier. Okay. And then when somebody's going in here in the nav bar and they just want to go ahead and change the color, it's going to change the color of everything. Oh, but look at this. We have some spacing issues. I think. And that was the padding. Okay, it needs to have 0 padding. So let's go back to here. So is drop down icon, and it needs to have 0 padding. So it aligns just like the other guy. Perfect. Perfect, so that works. I think that looks all right. And just to take a look at these hamburgers, their background color is black, but not a variable or not a global color. So let's change that. That's good. And their height is 2 pixels, but let's use REMs, and 2 REMs. 16 is 0.125 REMs. And width, yeah, oops, width 100%, good. And width here, EMs, let's use REM, which is going to be different. So let's make it maybe, that's a little bit too big, maybe 1.5. And what about its height? What's controlling its height? I think that's this whole thing, because that's just, oh, no, it's not. Okay, navbar is actually a grid. No, it's flex. And the gap is 4 pixels. If it's a smaller gap, they're just going to collapse onto themselves. Okay, so the height of it is controlled by the flex. And I think it's aligned. I think the whole nav bar, I guess, this container would be aligned center. Yeah, it is. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Where was I? Right. Hamburger. The gap in between. We had it at 4 REMs. Maybe we can make it 3 even. 3 pixels, I should say. Not 4 REMs. So 3 divided by 16. Is it 1.785? 3 divided by 16. 1.875. 0.1875. Okay. All right. And let's just hide it now. Okay. What? Okay. Weird. Okay. Ooh, shit. Did I update some styles while in a different mode? Ah, dang it. That's annoying. Shit. Let's redo that. We have to redo all of that stuff. Redo because okay, well, color white. Oh, no. That still makes sense. Because this color can't be white when it's on, when it's in this, oh, what is it? Just monitor view, whatever the word is, just your regular view. Viewport. That's what or breakpoint. What is this? What is it called? Desktop breakpoint. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good one. Okay, so, right. So navigation, we do want the color to be primary. Interesting that it's not that it's defaulting to black. Like, why is it black here? Is it because of all links? All links should be primary, but yet this one isn't primary. What is going on? Something's going on here that's not right. Weird. Because I shouldn't have to set this. Okay. Right, so this thing is 0, 0, and 1.25. Let's just delete that from here, and let's add it here. So this is 0, 0, and 0.125. Or no, sorry, it was 1.25. And now that should still look good. Can you just show, please? Weird. Okay, so that looks okay. Is there anything else that we switched out when we were just in this mode? Or our styles, I should say. We did do stuff with the hamburgers. Maybe we should do the hamburgers at the at this breakpoint anyways, just in case someone decides to use the hamburger just all the time, which could be a thing, I suppose. Do I remember you? You're from Bangladesh, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you popped in quite a few times. I think you did send me a message. But yeah, I definitely remember the name, for sure. And I could be thinking about somebody else, but I think you're a first-year computer science student, if I remember correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong. But then I'll feel like an ass. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, from Canada. The red, white, and I was going to say blue, but that's not our colors at all. Just the red and white. Yeah, in Canada. For now, anyways. We'll see what happens. Would love to go and just see the rest of the world. Okay. Right, what was I thinking? Oh, right. We wanted to add these styles on the regular breakpoint. And background color is black. And our margins, width, let's copy this. Width 100%, height 0.125. So width 100%. REMs and 0 and 0. Okay, looks good to me. We don't need this here. Yeah, I mean, this is necessary. Yeah, I want to be consistent. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this. Okay, well, help me out here, guys. Is my thinking off? And I could be off here. So I'm just trying to think of like where the styling should be, if it should just be in your regular CSS or in your regular breakpoint, or if it should be like a media query. which I'm sure is what happens when you have it on this breakpoint. So this is for the navigation for the hamburger and all the CSS styles. Should they be in that specific breakpoint? I guess they should, because that's the breakpoint that they're going to get displayed. But if somebody changes the breakpoints, I guess then they're going to have to just change the CSS. Yeah, I don't know. The part of me is just saying like, no, I want this to be at your regular breakpoint so that whenever the user decides to show or hide it at whatever breakpoint that is, it's always going to work. So leave it by the default breakpoints, not custom CSS. So when you're saying the default breakpoints, you mean like here it's at the tablet breakpoint, but put those classes on this one, which is the default breakpoint, the desktop breakpoint, right? Okay, which I think you're saying agreed. So I think you're saying, yeah, bring them over here so that they'll apply throughout the entire site, and then a user can just show, they can decide when they want to show and hide it, even just by one simple line of CSS. Okay, so we'll do that. On Webflow, I've tried to implement GSAP and Linus Smooth Scroll. So I haven't heard of those before. But how's it going? Is it going well? And I guess it's just trying to smoothen out how people scroll, like on the page. That's interesting. I've never been a fan of trying to just modify the scrolling behavior on a website. I guess maybe generally for me, I just do that with my mouse, and then I just have my own default scrolling behavior that I like. And I don't like it so much if users of a site kind of take that out of my hands. But I think depending on the design, it could make sense, especially if it's a really crazy interactive website. So I'm interested, like, has it gone good, or are you having some troubles with it? Okay, so let's go to the hamburger. So, right. So it's this, it's vertical. I think it's aligned center. And here's our gap. REMs. And are we justified? Width 1.5. And anything else? That seems to be it. Okay. So we can basically get rid of these. Excellent. Okay, well, what else do we have? The navbar menu button just has a bunch of zeros for padding. So let's do that here as well. Zeros, and make that zeros everywhere, please. Okay. So this navbar one menu link, we do need those there because that's for this specific breakpoint. Unless this is just padding top and bottom. If we add padding here to the top and bottom, it's not going to do anything. Oh, no, top and bottom. Oh, it is for, I mean, it's going to do stuff in terms of adding the padding on the top and bottom, but I think, we might be able to get away with it. 0.125. Is that what we had? 0.25. 0.25. And actually, can we make that the same? And then we'll have to go we'll just have to do it here. Actually, we can delete that. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, great. So it just adds a little bit of extra padding onto the navigation, but that's okay. Small trade-off. And what else do we have? Anything else here? Yes, we got this whole navbar one menu. What is all this stuff here with all this spacing? Oh, hang on. Let's, this might be an issue. Let's see what we got. Hey. Right. Okay.
So do what you need to do, but just let me know because I.
Yeah. Can we go and give me like 9 minutes to wrap up?
Okay.
Uh-oh, I gotta go. What am I thinking here? Sorry, okay. Got till around 3:30, so we got a few minutes here. Let's see if we can figure this out. So, right. This menu specifically is going to change its appearance when it's shown. So let's have a look here. Right, because this thing here, who is she? That was my wife. Andrea. You'll recognize her instantly if you see like any of our videos for the past 5 years on our channel. But she doesn't really do anything with the live stream, obviously. Right, because this is, yeah, that's all there on the top. So like, we need that. That needs to be its own thing. And it has to be at the breakpoint, which is going to be at whatever breakpoint this person selects. Unless, yeah, they can only do, right. Okay. Yeah, nothing we can do there. That's just going to have to be how it is, which is fine. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here on the icon. Text block, of course, there's nothing there. Navbar, basic drop-down list. Oh, okay, what is this? That is that just like the whole box? Show yourself, please. Oh, this is the second drop down, right? And why can't I see you? Sometimes this... yes, I do. I have 2 kids. 2 kids, 2 wonderful children. 1 boy, 1 girl. Okay, why is this? Okay, that's showing. Oh, right, because I'm showing. Oh, okay, shit. Gonna have to. Yeah, this is what happens when you try. Shit. Okay. So what the hell's going on here? This should extend the whole thing. Why is it behaving strangely? Oh, I think it's just because the way that I'm just kind of showing it. Right. So I'm going to rename this one navbar 1. Drop down. That's just the container. Container. And then these are going to be navbar 1, drop down, just link, I guess, or item, or menu link, just link. Okay. Let's just play this and let's see. Okay, then we just need to mess around with the styling. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to have to cut it here before I get into any more trouble. I just need to start earlier because I really want to work on this like basically like all day, all night, because I want to get this out the door and ready for testing ASAP. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna maybe just try to live stream earlier and then stay on for like 2, 3, 4 hours, get a bunch of work done, and then probably do some work off stream as well too, because tis the season. Because yeah, by December, like the end of the year, I gotta launch. I'm just getting too excited because I really want to get this done. Anyways, so yeah, I gotta run, unfortunately. So kind of short today, only an hour. Need to get more work done. But we'll be back at it tomorrow. So thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Pub, for showing up. Much appreciate the support. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Oh, last question. Go. Do you have a portfolio of animated templates? No, I don't. No, like the only portfolio I have is just what I have on my website. Which is pixel.ca, 2 eyes, which is just like my company site. So there's just some of the projects are on there. Not everything that I've done, but just some of the more kind of recent projects, more kind of corporate type works. So no, I haven't done any crazy animation stuff with Webflow. So yeah, sorry. Yeah, but I'm sure we're going to be working on some animation stuff on some of our templates in the future, because there's some pretty powerful stuff that we can do Webflow, which is awesome. All right, if you have any requests or recommendations or something that you'd want to see me work on or put into a template or whatever, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do. All right, thanks guys, and I got to talk to the mic, and we'll see you tomorrow.